Okay, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. So we had discussed about different types of hybridization in the last class, right? So can you tell me which are the different types of hybridization? Anyone? Different types of hybridization.
SP hybridization, SP2 hybridization, and SP3 hybridization.
Okay, SP hybridization, SP2 hybridization, and SP3 hybridization. And we had discussed certain examples for each type of hybridization, right? Then today we are going to learn about the different types of hybridization involving s, p, and d orbital. Okay, s, p, and d orbital. One minute. So we know that in the case of the increasing order of the atomic orbitals, that is starting from 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, then 4s, 3d, 4p, like that, right? So I told you in the last class, we can compare the energy of 3d orbital with 3s and 3p, again with 4s and 4p. The important condition for this hybridization, they have almost similar energy, right? So this 3D can compare its energy with 3s and 3p. And again, this 3D can compare its energy with 4s and 4p. They have almost equal in energy. So based upon these concepts, there are different types of hybridization involving the combination of this s, p, and d orbital. 3s, 3p, and 3d. Again, 4s, 4p, and 3d orbitals. Clear, children? Okay, this is clear? Yes. So we are moving to the different types of hybridization by the combination of this s, p, and d orbital. Okay, s, p, and d orbital. So here in this table, you can see that the shape of molecule or ion, that is square planar. Okay, the shape of molecule or ion, that is square planar, and their hybridization type is dsp2. Okay, dsp2. So one d orbital, one s orbital, and two p orbitals. And examples for the compounds that shows this dsp2 hybridization, that is NiCN4 2 minus and PtCl4 2 minus. These two are coordination compounds. Okay, coordination compounds or complex ions that you will learn more in more detail in later. Okay, so these two are the examples for the compounds that shows this dsp2 hybridization with square planar shape. Then the next one is trigonal bipyramidal. Okay, trigonal bipyramidal. They have sp3d hybridization. sp3d hybridization. One s orbital, 3p orbitals, 1d orbital. And the examples are pf5 and pcl5. pf5 and pcl5. Then the third one is square pyramidal in shape. Their hybridization type is sp3d2. So here, one s orbital, 3p orbitals, and 2d orbitals combine together to form this hybrid orbital. And the example is brf5. brf5. Then the last one, that is octahedral in shape. There are two types of hybridization for this octahedral shape. First one is sp3d2 and the next one is d2sp3. Both type of hybridization have the same shape, that is octahedral. Here 1s orbital, 3p orbitals, and 2d orbitals are involved. But the difference in the p orbital or the d orbital, it will be different. Sometimes from 3p or 3p, 3d, 3s, or 4p, 4s, 3d. So that will be the difference in sp3d2 and d2sp3. And examples are SF6, then CrF6 3 minus, CONH3 6 3 plus. So from this table, you have to learn the hybridization type, their shape of molecule and example. And we will learn the more explanation or the elaboration of the hybridization of this PCl5 and SF6 molecule. So the same table that's in your textbook. If this image is not clear, you can copy it from the textbook, page number 124. Table. Yeah, figure, there is no such number for this table in page number 124. Have you completed this one, children? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
Yes or no? No. Okay, okay.
No.
Okay, okay. Then you can write it fast. Adulya, finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we can discuss the formation of this sp3d hybridization in PCl5 molecule. Okay. PCl5 molecule, sp3d hybridization. So all of you write along with me. Okay. So PCl5, that is sp3d hybridization. So can you tell me, children, which is the central atom in this PCl5?
P.
P. P for? P for? Phosphorus, right? And its atomic number is 15. Okay. So first we can write the ground state electronic configuration of this phosphorus. That is 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p3, right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2 and 3p3. And there will be vacant d orbital, right? 3d0. This is the ground state electronic configuration, ground state. Okay, you can also draw the orbital diagram of the same ground state. In 3s, there will be 2 electron. Then next one is 3p. This one is 3p3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 3D. Here it is 0. This is the ground state orbital diagram of phosphorus. Okay. Then next we will write the excited state electronic configuration of phosphorus. Okay. So here you can see there are 2 electrons in s orbital, right? 2 electrons in 3s orbital. And this 1 electron in this s orbital, it will jump from 3s to 3d. Okay. 3s to 3d. So here the excited state configuration will become 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, 3p3 and 3d1. Okay. Then now we can redraw the orbital diagram in the excited state. 3s1, then 3p3, and here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3d1. Okay, 3s1, 3p3, and 3d1. Clear? So these 1s and 3p and 1d orbital combines together to form sp3d hybrid orbitals. Okay, sp3d hybrid orbitals. So how many sp3d hybrid orbitals will be formed? Here 1s, then 3p and 3d. 5, right? Okay. 1s orbital, 3p orbital, and 1d orbital. So 5 sp3d hybrid orbitals will be formed. And in the formation of this PCl5, we can see that there are 5 chlorine atoms, right? 5 chlorine atoms, they are attached to this central atom, phosphorus. So here, this each chlorine atom, it will overlaps with this 5 sp3d hybrid orbital for the formation of this PCl5. So now we can redraw the structure. Here only 1 electron is present in 3s1, right? But in the formation of this PCl5, it will become 2 electron. One is from chlorine. Clear, children? One is from chlorine. Chlorine will overlap with this orbital and there will be 2 electrons after the formation of this PCl5. This from chlorine. There are 5 chlorine atoms. Each chlorine atom will attach to each sp3d hybrid orbital for the formation of PCl5 molecule. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 chlorine atoms. This will overlaps with 5 sp3d hybrid orbital for the formation of PCl5. So this is the method of forming sp3d hybridization in PCl5 molecule. So what will be the shape of a molecule? According to this sp3d hybridization, you can just refer the table and tell me what type of, what shape of the molecule will be formed from this sp3d hybridization. Gaia, can you tell me? What is the shape of the molecule for sp3d hybridization? Yes. Okay, anyone?
Square planar.
sp3d, not dsp3, sp3d.
Trigonal bipyramidal.
Trigonal bipyramidal, right? Trigonal bipyramidal. So for this PCl5 molecule also trigonal bipyramidal shape. So now we can draw the shape. Have you completed this one, children? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now we can draw the shape of this molecule. There will be one phosphorus at the central atom. Okay. Then 3 chlorine atoms, they are in the same plane. Consider this board as one plane and 3 chlorine atoms are there in the board plane itself. Okay. and there will be one chlorine at the top portion of this plane, and there will be another chlorine atom at the bottom portion. Clear? This is clear, children? So this type of shape that is known as trigonal bipyramidal. Trigonal bipyramidal. And two types of bond angle will be there in the shape of trigonal bipyramidal. That is 120-degree bond angle. 120-degree bond angle for the equatorial bonds in the plane. Equatorial bonds. Which are the equatorial bonds? These three. 1, 2, 3. Okay. These are 120-degree each. Clear? And the 90-degree bond angle for the axial bonds. Okay. Axial bonds. These two are the axial bonds. And here you can see that the two axial bonds, they are longer in bond length compared to that of the equatorial bonds, right? This is due to the repulsive interaction experienced by this bond pairs. Okay. So due to the repulsive interaction experienced by this bond pairs, these two axial bonds, they have a longer bond length compared to that of equatorial bond. So this is the formation of PCl5 molecule. Their hybridization is sp3d hybridization, and the shape is trigonal bipyramidal. And there are two types of bond angle exist in this trigonal bipyramidal. 120-degree bond angle for the equatorial bonds and 90-degree bond angle for the axial bonds. So these three equatorial bonds, they are in the same plane, and the axial bonds, they are at the top and bottom of this plane. Clear? This is clear, children, about the formation of this PCl5 molecule? Any doubt? Not audible once again. Do you want to repeat it again? Adulya?
Yes.
Okay. So here the hybridization is sp3d hybridization. So the shape of the molecule for this sp3d hybridization, that is trigonal bipyramidal. Okay, trigonal bipyramidal. So there are 5 sp3d orbitals. So there will be 5 corners, right? 5 corners. So among these 5 corners, the 3 chlorine atoms, they are in the same plane. That is known as equatorial position. So there will be equatorial bond angle, that is 120-degree. They are in the same plane. And at the top of the plane and the bottom of the plane, there are 2 chlorine atoms, that is known as axial positions. So the axial bond angle, that is 90-degree. And in the case of these 2 axial positions, they have more bond length compared to that of equatorial bonds. The reason is that there will be more electron repulsion exists between the bond pairs. Clear, Adulya? Yes or no? Okay. Then we are moving to the next one, that is the formation of SF6 molecule. Okay, formation of SF6 molecule. Here the hybridization is sp3d2. sp3d2 hybridization. So we will start with the central atom, that is sulfur. What's the atomic number of sulfur? Atomic number?
16.
Yeah, 16. So we can write the ground state configuration. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p4. So the orbital diagram will be 3s and 3p and the vacant 3d. Okay. Then the excited state configuration. Here you can see there are 2 electrons in s orbital, and in the p orbital, in one orbital, there are 2 electrons. So 1 electron from 3s orbital and 1 electron from 3p orbital, they will jump to 3d orbital. So we can write the excited state configuration: 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s1, 3p3, 3d2. Okay, then the orbital diagram: 3s1, okay, 3s1, then 3p3, 3d2. So this s3p and 2d orbitals combine together to form sp3 d2 hybrid orbitals. So there are 6 sp3d hybrid orbitals. Okay, 6 sp3d hybrid orbitals. So now the formation of SF6 molecule. There are 6 fluorine atoms. So each fluorine atom will be overlapped with the 6 sp3d hybrid orbital of sulfur. Okay. So for the formation of SF6 molecule, it will become 3s2, from fluorine. Okay. Okay. So each fluorine atom will overlap with the 6 sp3d hybrid orbitals, and the formation of SF6 molecule occurs. And here the shape is for sp3d2 hybridization, that is octahedral shape. Okay. So here the hybridization is sp3d2 and the shape of the molecule is octahedral. Shape of molecule is octahedral. So you can copy the actual octahedral shape from your textbook. Okay, it's in page number 125. So for sp3d2 hybridization, the shape of the molecule is octahedral. This is clear, children, about the different types of hybridization. So you have to learn these 2 examples for sp3d hybridization and sp3d2 hybridization. Clear? Shall I move to next topic, children? Have you completed this one? Yes. So the next theory, that is molecular orbital theory. So we have completed this hybridization, different types of hybridization. Then the next theory, that is molecular orbital theory. So this molecular orbital theory, that is considered as the last part of this molecular bond, chemical bonding and their molecular structure. Okay. So this molecular orbital theory, it is also known as MO theory. It was developed by F. Hunt and R.S. Mulliken in 1932. Okay. This molecular theory, it was introduced by F. Hunt and R.S. Mulliken in 1932. And there are certain salient features for this theory. The first point is that the electrons in a molecule are present in the various molecular orbitals, as the electrons of atoms are present in the various atomic orbitals. We know that atoms are present in atomic orbitals, right? Or atomic orbital is defined as the maximum probability of finding an electron. Similarly, here in this molecular orbitals, we can see electrons of molecules. Okay. In atomic orbitals, electrons of atoms are present, and in molecular orbitals, electrons in a molecule are present. So that's the first point of this theory. The electrons in a molecule are present in the various molecular orbitals, as the electrons of atoms are present in the various atomic orbitals. Clear? Okay, that's the first point. So which are the different atomic orbitals? Niranjan? Yeah, S, P, D, F, they are the different orbitals, right? Similarly, this molecule has different molecular orbitals in which electrons are present. We will learn the names of such molecular orbitals later. So how the electrons are present in this different atomic orbitals like S, P, D, and F. Similarly, these electrons are present in molecular orbitals in the case of molecule. Clear? Shall I move to next point?
Wait, ma'am.
Okay. Then the next point is that atomic orbitals of comparable energies and proper symmetry combine to form molecular orbitals. We have learned that the orbitals with same energy and symmetry, they are joined together for the formation of hybrid orbitals, right? Similarly here, the atomic orbitals of comparable energies and proper symmetry. The same point, the atomic orbitals of comparable energies and proper symmetry combine to form molecular orbitals. If there is large difference in the energy between the orbitals, they cannot combine together to form molecular orbitals. So they should have almost similar energy and symmetry for the formation of molecular orbital. Okay. So that's the second point. The atomic orbitals of comparable energies and proper symmetry combine to form molecular orbitals. Then the third one, while an electron in an atomic orbital is influenced by one nucleus, because in one atom there is only one nucleus, right? But in a molecular orbital, it is influenced by two or more nuclei depending upon the number of atoms in the molecule. In the case of atom, only one atom there, so there will be only one nucleus. But in the case of molecule, there are different atoms combined together to form a molecule. So there are two or more nucleus, right? So this molecular orbital, it is influenced by two or more nuclei. Nuclei, that's the plural form of nucleus. depending upon the number of atoms in the molecule. Thus, an atomic orbital is monocentric, while a molecular orbital is polycentric. Poly means many, right? So, atomic orbital is influenced by only one nucleus. That's why it is monocentric. But in the case of molecular orbital, the molecule is formed by the combination of two or more atoms. So, it is influenced by more nuclei. So, it is known as polycentric. That's the third point. Finished? Shall I move to next point, children? So the next one, the number of molecular orbital formed, it is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. You have learned in hybridization, right? How many orbitals are combined together to form a hybrid orbital? Same number of hybrid orbitals will be formed, right? So the same point, the number of molecular orbital formed, it is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. Actually, this MO theory, it's a modified version of hybridization itself. Okay. So the same points will be repeated here. But there is some difference in the concepts and the names. So when two atomic orbitals combine, two molecular orbitals are formed. Okay. When two atomic orbitals combine, two molecular orbitals form. One is known as bonding molecular orbital, while the other is called anti-bonding molecular orbital. The number of molecular orbitals formed, that is equal to the number of atomic orbitals combined. And when two atomic orbitals combine, two molecular orbitals are produced. One is bonding molecular orbital and the other one is known as anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay, bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital. And this bonding molecular orbital, it has lower energy and hence greater stability than the corresponding anti-bonding molecular orbital. So there are two types of molecular orbital, bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital. This bonding molecular orbital has lower energy and hence greater stability. When there is lower energy, that means that it has more stability, okay, than the corresponding anti-bonding molecular orbital. So when we are comparing the energies of bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital, bonding molecular orbital has lower energy compared to that of anti-bonding. But in the case of stability, it is opposite with each other. That means this bonding molecular orbital has more stability than anti-bonding molecular orbital. Sarah, can you read the 2 points?
Yes, ma'am. The number of molecular orbitals formed is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. When two atomic orbitals combine, two molecular orbitals are formed. One is known as bonding molecular orbital, while the other one is called bonding molecular
orbital.
orbital. The bonding molecular orbital has lower energy and hence the greater stability than the corresponding anti-bonding molecular orbital.
Okay. So children, have you completed these 2 points?
No, ma'am.
No, okay. You can finish it. So there are 2 types of molecular orbitals. First one is bonding molecular orbital and the second one is anti-bonding molecular orbital. Bonding molecular orbital has always lower energy compared to that of anti-bonding molecular orbital, and the stability is more for bonding molecular orbital compared to that of anti-bonding molecular orbital. And the number of molecular orbitals formed, it is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. Okay. Adulya, finished?
No. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then the next point, just as the electron probability distribution around a nucleus in an atom is given by atomic orbital, the electron probability distribution around a group of nuclei in a molecule is given by molecular orbital. Okay, I told you the atomic orbital, it will shows the maximum probability of finding an electron. That means only the electrons are present in atomic orbitals. Similarly, in the case of a molecule, the electrons are present in this molecular orbitals. Okay, the maximum probability of finding an electron in a molecule, that is in molecular orbital. Okay, in an atom, atomic orbital contains electron. In molecule, molecular orbital contains electrons. That's it. That's the next point. Just as the electron probability distribution around a nucleus in an atom is given by an atomic orbital, the electron probability distribution around a group of nuclei in a molecule. In the case of molecule, you know that different atoms combine together, right? So here it is given by a molecular orbital. In molecular orbital, there will be electrons, similar to that of electrons present in atomic orbitals in an atom. Okay. And the next point, the molecular orbitals like atomic orbitals are filled in accordance with Aufbau principle, then Pauli's exclusion principle and Hund's rule. Do you remember these two? What is Aufbau principle? Aufbau principle. Tom Sinton, can you tell me Aufbau principle?
The orbitals are arranged in the increasing order of their energy.
Very good. Increasing order of energy. Then what is Pauli's exclusion principle? Shabari?
It means that
No two electrons.
no two electrons can have same number of same or of the
Yeah, same value
quantum
of
numbers.
quantum numbers. Okay, no two electrons can have the same value of 4 quantum numbers. Then the Hund's rule, only after the singly occupying electrons, the doubly occupied electrons will be there. Okay, that is Hund's rule. So the atomic orbitals are following these 3 rules: Pauli's exclusion, Aufbau, Hund's rule. Similarly, the molecular orbitals also following the same rule: Aufbau principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, then Hund's rule. So these are the main features of this molecular orbital theory. It is otherwise known as MO theory. It was developed by F. Hunt and R.S. Mulliken in 1932. Okay. So this was the modified form of hybridization in different orbitals. Okay. Jyoti, can you read the 2 points? Children, please switch on your videos. Jyoti.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Just as the electron probability distribution around a nucleus in an atom is given by an atomic orbital. The electron probability distribution around a group of nuclei in a molecule is given by a molecular orbital. The molecular orbitals, like atomic orbitals, are filled in accordance with the Aufbau principle, obeying the Pauli's exclusion principle and the Hund's rule.
Okay, Hund's rule. So these are the main features of this molecular orbital theory or MO theory. Okay. Then here we learned how the formation of this molecular orbitals take place. Okay. How the formation of molecular orbitals take place. So here we are using the term linear combination of atomic orbitals. In short, it is LCAO. Okay, linear combination of atomic orbitals. We know that atomic orbitals combine together to form molecular orbital, right? That is the linear combination of atomic orbitals. This combination includes both addition and subtraction. Okay, it's just a combination. This combination includes both addition and subtraction. So the formation of molecular orbitals may be described by the linear combination of atomic orbitals that can take place by addition and by subtraction of wave functions of individual atomic orbitals. How can we represent a wave function? What is the symbol? Anyone?
Psi.
Psi, very good. Psi can be represented like this, right? This is also known as atomic orbital or wave function. So here, the atomic orbitals that can take place by the addition and by subtraction of wave function of individual atomic orbitals, it will produce the molecular orbitals. So we can write the equation psi MO. MO means molecular orbital, that is equal to psi A plus or minus psi B. Both addition and subtraction. I told you about two types of orbital, right? Molecular bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital. So there will be two types, bonding and anti-bonding. Here also the two combinations are there, addition and subtraction. Therefore, two molecular orbitals, sigma and sigma star, are formed. Okay, sigma and sigma star. Sigma, that is known as bonding molecular orbital, and sigma star, that is anti-bonding molecular orbital. So we can rewrite this equation as separately. Sigma, that is equal to psi A plus psi B. Bonding molecular orbital will be formed by the addition of these two atomic orbitals, and the anti-bonding molecular orbitals that will be formed by the subtraction of these two atomic orbitals. So psi, that is bonding molecular orbital, and the psi star, that is anti-bonding molecular orbital. Okay. Then we can learn more about this bonding molecular orbital and anti-bonding molecular orbital in the next class. This is clear, children? Do you have any doubt in today's topic? Okay, now it's time to wind up. So we can learn more about this bonding and anti-bonding molecular orbital in the next class. Okay. Okay, then let me take your attendance. Just wait. Okay, then thank you, children. Bye. See you in the next class. Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.